Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Please raise your hands if you have questions. We have Kylie Ship and Michaela Oniwede and Jackie Powell.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Good to see you both. So I'm going to just point one question to one person and the other. So Michaela, for you, I'm curious if you could explain to me the type of leader that Natasha has been on and off the court. Like, what type of energy does she exude when she's working with y'all in practice and just in general?
I think she's definitely an example leader for us, for sure. Being in the post position, she's somebody who's been really successful in that position. And so learning from her in that way, but also like she says little tidbits here and there on the bench or in practice and stuff like that. And so it's really easy to kind of get information from her because she has been through so much as far as just being in the league and being a veteran and being a successful veteran. And so, yeah, that's kind of just how she kind of contributes to, helping me out, helping Kylie out, and just the other post players as well.
Brilliant. And Kylie, I want to know, take me through what you knew you had to do on Tuesday when Natasha came out of the game, struggling a little bit because of the coverages that Seattle was putting on
her. I would just say defense. That was my main focus because they are such a good offensive team. So I knew I could make an impact coming in, being physical and matching the intensity that she had on the court.
Great. And for Michaela, what do you think the key is to continuing the momentum that we saw from y'all on Tuesday night?
I think the defensive intensity, I think we saw on film that when we were really just aggressive and just kind of trying to disrupt their action, because they are, like Kylie said, they're a really good offensive team. They're going to get to their schemes, but kind of just being disruptive was really important for us. And when we saw that we were, denying those passes or being really aggressive on the ball, like it was hard for them to get into a rhythm. And so just continue to do that. We know that they're going to have Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird back. So, it's going to be a tall task, but just continue to do that will be really good for us tonight.
And last one for Kylie, what do you think some of the reasons were for the ability of Seattle to be able to score 30 of their points off of turnovers?
Just for the fact that they're already a really good team at ETAs and throwing the ball ahead. So a turnover is just like a jump start for them. They all sprint super fast and get back. So I think it was just helping them. So instead of full court, it's half court that they got to sprint. So
thanks so much from both of you. I appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Good morning, both of you. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see you guys again. So in the fourth quarter on Wednesday night, the Liberty only allowed 7 points, their lowest output that they've allowed all season in any quarter. So when you went back and look at the film from Wednesday, what was the biggest difference from, say, the first 3 quarters?
Well, one word, Didi Richards. Like she completely, Jewel Lloyd is a great player, but I think that kind of the switch happened when we put Didi on Jewel, and she just disrupted her. And like, it wasn't always like she stopped her all the way, but it was like she was going to make her shots really tough. There was a stretch in the third quarter where she was just lights out, like we could not miss kind of unconsciously. And so putting Didi on Jewel was really imperative for us to, hold them to 7 points. And that definitely, I think, was the difference in that fourth quarter for sure. But just like I said, the defensive intensity all around Didi, like that kind of sparks the other people to, get up, really defend the ball and just, get that stop for sure.
I would also say rebounding when and done was a big emphasis in the fourth too. So Didi sparked it, and that's probably what sparked that as well. But
and Wednesday's win is such an interesting case because obviously it loses a tiny bit of luster because Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart weren't there. But at the same time, the defending champs come into Brooklyn. You come back from 10 points down, as many as 15 points down. So how much can this win? I know you guys are very, next game forward type deal. You're not exactly fortune tellers of the future, but how much can this win, propel the quote unquote hybrid rebuild forward? And how much of an impact and how can you keep that momentum alive as you go through these final 8 or 9 games of the season trying to make a playoff push?
I think it's definitely important, just especially like what you said, the comeback. We were down 15 with like 4 minutes to go. And so, any team could have just kind of faltered and kind of just let them win. But I think just kind of shows just the perseverance that we had in coming back. And just because we were down, like the defensive intensity and like the huddles didn't change. And so that was really, really important. And it shows us and it gives us the confidence that moving forward, like we're going to be in games that have adverse situations. We're not always going to be up, but we came back against a team like Seattle, regardless of who they didn't or didn't have at the time. And we were able to, come back and get that win. And so that gives us confidence, especially going down the stretch of the last few games in the season and then hopefully into playoffs.
And last one from me. Coach Hopkins said, one of the biggest things that you guys did over the break was develop team chemistry. So over the break, how important has the growing chemistry been as you guys, again, embark on not only a playoff push, but seek to build some momentum for the future?
I think it's good that we had that little stretch, because before that stretch, it was games every other day, which is kind of hard to practice and get in there and work the way we were able to work during the break. And especially with Tosh coming back, she was able to play with us. We were able to build chemistry with her, see what she likes doing, where she likes getting passes and where she likes passing out. So I think that was a helpful thing for us.
Appreciate your time and insight, both of you. Have fun out there tonight.
Thank you.
Jackie Powell.
Hi, I've got a bunch more because I forgot a bunch, but sorry. So for Michaela, you got to play against Jordan, but as a pro. So I'm curious as to what you were able to see when it came to how much she has developed really since you played with her on the same team.
Yeah, Jordan is definitely one of the, one of my favorite teams I've ever played with at UCLA. Just like, not even just like who she is like on the court, but also off the court. She's just like such a sweet human being. And my freshman year, she really did take me and the other freshmen in and was taking us out and like really introducing us to the college world. And so it's been really cool to see her just develop in her game. And like I knew from like the day I first started playing with her that she was going to be really successful in this league. To be able to get the defensive player of the year a few years ago and stuff like that, and just do the things that she's been doing since college has been really cool to see. And so that was a really cool, moment. We were able to have a reunion before the game, which was really cool. And as well as me and Kennedy as well. So that's just really cool to see, UCLA, kind of breed in the WNBA like it is.
Lovely. And Kylie, this is, I guess, a general question about tonight, with the expectation of seeing Sue and Stewie back. I mean, how do you all sort of not get overwhelmed or intimidated by the folks that are expected to return? What's sort of in your mind what you have to do to prepare for that change?
Well, we watched film, see the ways that we could have improved, and kind of saw how we had a lot of errors that we could have controlled. And so, I mean, if you take the errors that we could have controlled and put that as their points, I mean, it's almost the same game. But like you said, I mean, they were already an amazing team without them. So with them, we just know we have to bump it up one more notch intensity and just go out there and be good every quarter, put 4 quarters together.
Great. Thank you. Thank you both again.
Brian Heyman.
Michaela, just how much do you guys check the standings daily and kind of dwell on this push for the playoffs?
We talked about it, just before the break, obviously, as we know our end goal, but I think at the end of the day, as a collective unit, we kind of decided that like, we still have to figure out the game in front of us. So right now we're worried about, the game tonight against Seattle. And then moving forward, we'll worry about the game against LA on Sunday. Like, it is kind of like one game at a time, as cliche as that sounds. Like, we know our end goal, but at the end of the day, we still have to handle what's in front of us. And so right now, we're focused on Seattle. Even though, that is the ultimate goal, to make the playoffs, and not just make the playoffs, but do well in the playoffs, advance in those, in those games. And so right now, focus on Seattle, but we know that that's just the end goal for right now.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Kylie.
Thank
Thanks, everyone,
you.
for joining. We'll send the recording shortly.